What's good, y'all? I've got some really nice buffs from my boy Farfetch'd. Obviously one of the Pokemon who needed these buffs the most, although every single Pokemon in this hack is heavily reworked, heavily buffed to be very viable and fun to use and unique from one another. Speaking of, Farfetch'd is one of 3 fighting and flying types in this hack. You can check out all the other Pokemon buffs and changes on the Google Sheet in the description. Before I get into them, I want to have a quick little disclaimer though. If you are new here, to check out this move sheet right here on the description. You can find that Google Sheet, and on that Google Sheet, right here on the bottom, it says search all moves here. You can look at all 600 plus move buffs and changes in this hack. All right, I cannot understate how important this Google Sheet is. I would recommend, honestly, if you're interested in this type of thing, to just bookmark it, subscribe to the channel, check out the videos if you want. Although honestly, if you know what all the moves do, like half of the work for understanding the Pokemon buffs and changes is already done. I don't have to explain them all in the videos. Not that the videos are like, I mean, I talk about other stuff, of course, but yeah, I'm getting a bit ranty. My point is, just give that Google Sheet a look. It's got all types of different categories. It's very easy to navigate. Everything is interconnected on this Google Sheet. So, for example, if you don't know what an ability does, it'll link to if it's a new ability or an ability with significant changes to like the moves. For example, with Super Luck, a lot of crit moves are heavily reworked, which I'll get into. And then for Unburden, Unburden is massively buffed in this hack in the form of Quick Claw, most importantly. Other items too, but Quick Claw, especially if you click this link, it'll take you to the whole item buffs and changes, of which there are a few dozen. The most important ones being like this group, I would say. I mean, a lot of them are pretty important, but Quick Claw is huge. Quick Claw is a single-use consumable item that always activates, so that's good for all types of Pokemon, right? Like, that's good for slower, bulkier Pokemon. You pivot in. I mean, most Pokemon in general get priority moves in this hack, so it's not like that's the best thing in the world. Not to mention, Quick Claw will only move first in your priority bracket. So, for example, Aqua Jet, right, is a +1 priority move. If you click Quick Claw Close Combat, that's not gonna outspeed Aqua Jet. It'll just outspeed, for example, a Pokemon with 120 base speed. You'll outspeed them, but you won't outspeed a priority move, an actual priority move. So that is worth noting. But my point is, Unburden Quick Claw is beautiful. You know, with Unburden Quick Claw, you click Sora's Dance, you click Bulk Up. Now you have +2 attack, +2 speed, or +1 defense, whatever it is. Like, you get the boost instantaneously, all right? You can also use Flying Gem Acrobatics, which is now available in this hack because gems are common evolution items. And of course, the items aren't that great. Sadly, I couldn't buff them to be back to 1.5. Although honestly, with Z moves in this game, I don't think that's super needed anyways. It's mostly just a niche little utility option, like Bug Gem First Impression, Quick Claw, or Flying Gem Acrobatics. But the best option is always going to be like, just, did I say Quick Claw? I meant Flying Gem and Bug Gem. But the best option is always going to be Quick Claw at the end of the day with Unburden, and that's beautiful for Farfetch'd. The thing is, with 106 base speed, you actually don't have to run any bulk investment. And then you might be looking at this 109 base attack, and if you're new here, this might seem totally good enough. But if you're a returning viewer, you might be like, this isn't that strong. But then you have to consider the fact that it has fighting and flying dual stab, and the fact that with a Super Luck plus Stick, it's going to crit every single move, no matter what. Close combat always crits, takedown always crits, you know, Brave Bird always crits, whatever it is, those will always crit. So essentially your attack is 50% higher than it looks like. Of course, you do have to hold an item though, but it's not, I mean, there's no drawbacks to holding Stick, you know, it's not like Life Orb where you take recoil or anything like that. And with Unburden, that's great to sweep. You also resist First Impression. You don't 4 times resist, you only 2 times resist because fighting no longer resists Bug in this hack. There are other type chart changes you can check out. It's just Bug and Ice type changes, nothing too crazy. I didn't want to go crazy and rework the whole type chart because that's kind of unnecessary. But yeah, Unburden super great, very good for sweeping. Sora's Dance Unburden, +2 sweep, +2 attack, boom boom. Like now you're chilling. You can honestly just sweep a couple of boss fights with that, especially because you do resist that First Impression. And with Unburden, what I was trying to say earlier, if you have 106 base speed with a neutral speed nature and 15 speed IVs, you still need 0 speed investment to outspeed the entire game. If you got a Brave nature or any minus speed nature with 0 speed IVs, you still outspeed almost every single Pokemon in the game with an Unburden boost. So you can run max HP, and it actually means that you'll actually take hits decently well. Of course, 67, 70, 70 isn't the best, but Flying type does have some good resistances. You know, Fighting type resists Dark and stuff. So it's not terrible at all. You can definitely take First Impressions at the very least, so that won't stop your sweep. So that makes Farfetch'd and any other Unburden Pokemon for that matter a very good sweeper, but Farfetch'd especially because he does resist that Bug First Impression, which is, again, one of the most common priority moves in the game. Not that there aren't other priority moves. In fact, there is a priority move for basically every type now. Usually at least 2 priority moves of every type, so do give those a look in the Google Sheet in the description. That hurts any fast offensive setup sweeper. Farfetch'd will still be stopped by those. Not to mention there are other priority moves like Topsy-Turvy and Heart Swap and Roar and Whirlwind and all this stuff that will stop Farfetch'd in his tracks as well. Keep in mind, Whirlwind only have 3 PP. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to give them actual high PP because that would be pretty ridiculous if the AI would just spam that on you and you're like stuck in limbo forever. Excuse me. So yeah, Super Luck plus any move always crits with a stick. You're very fast, unburdened. Those are the main gist of the buffs, but there's a lot of other nuances here. For example, if you go to these crit moves here, all of these moves that they learn at 33 up until 35 have a 50% crit rate now. So those are all 70 base power moves, as you can see here. And you learn a lot of them, right? So you have stab, cross, chop, and stab drill peck. And then you have psycho cut, leaf blade, laceration, X scissor, night slash, etc., etc., etc. And all of those will always crit without a stick. So if you run super luck, or you can actually run, I mean, unburden would be good, so I would just use it with super luck. You can run super luck plus these moves and run a life orb. And now you're even stronger, and those will still always crit. So those are 105 base power moves with super luck, and you can run life orb to get a 30% boost on top of that, which is stronger than not later game. For example, like I believe, actually no, 105 times 123 is still stronger, isn't it? In close combat, yeah, much stronger. Submission though is gonna out prioritize or outpower that. Submission is 150 base power, so that's gonna definitely out damage. But my point here is that with these 50% crit moves, you don't even need Brave Bird. For example, Life Orb boosted Super Luck Drill Peck is stronger than Brave Bird with Stick. It's about 10 base power stronger, and you don't take recoil. Well, you do take Life Orb recoil, but you'll be taking significantly less from Life Orb than you will be taking from Brave Bird. Dive Bomb is flying type by jump kick, so that doesn't deal recoil damage, but if you're doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, which is kind of what this hack is balanced around, you're going to want to slap a wide lens on, because if you miss, you're fucked. So I would not run raw Dive Bomb. That's extremely risky. You have tons of great coverage moves. Again, you have those 50% crit moves. You also have other good coverage moves like First Impression, Lunge, Sucker Punch, Rock Slide, Play Rough, Gunk Shot, Poison Jab, all types of good coverage moves by TM and Tutor, and a couple good ones by Level Up as well, aside from the 50% crit moves. You get a couple other gimmicky things like Flying Press is 130 base power with no drawbacks. I forget if it's 125 or 130, but it has no drawback. It also has a 30% chance to para. It's very niche because of the way that the damage calculation works for it. The type chart is kind of funky. I would honestly prefer to run like a more reliable flying type and fighting type stab option, but for certain boss fights, Flying Press, the fact that it has 0 drawbacks with stick, like makes it very, very worth using. It always crit is a very strong move. Submission late game extremely powerful, of course. You're very fast. You can even stuff like dual wing beat is very strong, 90 base power overall. You've got so many good options. Priority in the form of aerial ace. It's just the absolute goat. Unburden is great, beautiful setup option. You can even use it for utility. Unburden, you don't have to run Unburden for setup. You can run like Focus Slash Unburden plus Endure plus Reversal. That's an offensive thing. But like Feather Dance Unburden or something for a totem could be pretty good, and then you can roost off the damage with max HP. Max HP, max defense. It sounds like a meme, but it's not, genuinely, especially if you're doing a team lock Nuzlocke and you can't just go to your PC and grab a better Pokemon for that role. Farfetch'd can fulfill that role for you. All types of Pokemon can do stuff like that in this hack. It's very, very fun. You can be creative with it. Unburden is a very fun ability to abuse. However, the most realistic option for a lot of boss fights is going to be Quick Claw, just because of how good it is with Unburden. I think I'll leave the video off there, though. Fighting Flying Dual Stab, great. Super Luck, great. 50% crit moves plus Life Orb or any other boosting item, maybe even a Choice Band, for example, is great. You got U-Turn and Parting Shot as well with the Choice Band if you want to run that, although that's more of a competitive thing. I don't know why. I mean, you're clicking that regardless if you want to switch out. Parting Shot especially is very useful. In a hack like this especially. Grass Whistle plus Unburden can be good to set up, but honestly, like, you get that Swords Dance so easily anyways, or that bulk up so easily. Like I was saying earlier, by the way, having max HP with that bulk up, you can take hits very well at that point. Max HP, bulk up, Unburden, Quick Claw, you're taking hits really well, and honestly, +1 attack is going to be plenty strong enough to kill whatever you need to kill in a lot of cases because of the good dual stab that you already have. You don't need +2 for a lot of fights, so yeah, that's very worth it. Bulk up, max HP, Unburden, Quick Claw, great set right there. All types of fun things. You can run 50% crit moves are still great, but of course on the Unburden sets, you're going to want to run regular moves like Acrobatics or something, or Dual Wing Beat. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I'll be back for more buffs and changes for all these Pokemon coming up. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bookmark those Google Sheets if you like them. Make sure you check those out. I appreciate you listening this far into the videos. Shout out to you if you did. Peace.